Hello everyone, in this video we are going to see how we can deploy our ASP.NET MVC Web Application into Microsoft Azure. Now the thing is, we are going to use the database provided by this Azure also instead our default database here like MySQL or SQLite. Of course you can use hosted database. For example, if you have some shared hosting including PHP MyAdmin, so you can create your database and use your connection string in your project, but we are going to use SQL database provided by this Azure. So to deploy our web application, I am going to activate my trial version of this Azure. You can directly go to this azure.microsoft.com or Google search. So then this option will be visible to you, start free. Once you go to there, you have to use your email address to sign in. Then it will ask you some personal details including name, phone number, so you have to verify your phone number, and then this agreement section will be shown to you. You have to agree to custom agreement. Then next, so you have to enter your credit or debit card details here because they are asking us to authorize our account, but they won't be charged unless you move to pay as you go pricing. Okay, here no automatic charges. After your credit is over, we'll ask you if you want to continue with pay as you go. If you do, you will only pay if you use more than the free amounts of services. That means there are free services and paid services. If you are using more amount of paid services, so you have to pay as pay as you go method. So enter your bank card details here including card number, expiration date and the CVV. Once you enter those details, you can press sign up. Okay, now it is confirming my information. Okay, we are ready to start with Azure. Now we can go to Azure portal. You can use this portal.azure.com to directly go to this portal. Now we are going to create a resource here. In the menu you will see this create a resource option. Press that. I am going to create a web app here. Now we have to select the subscription version, Azure subscription 1, and the resource group. For example, you can use a project name here. That means you can add SQL database and other services into this resource group later. So I can say my example deploying. Okay, now it cannot be consistent with these spaces, so I can press OK. Now web app name as example. We have to select the .NET version here. So the .NET version will be .NET 7 because .NET 7 is the version of my project. Here we have to select what is the operating system, so I can use Windows. Pricing plan, it asking me what is the pricing plan here. Here it shows there is a free version which is 16 CPU minutes day included. Yeah, we can try that. So I will go to next stage. Here it asking us to enable GitHub action to continuously deploy your app, but I don't want to do that for now. So I can go to networking, enable public access. We will come to that later. So I can press monitoring. I will go next now. Here that's fine. Preview and create. Here it shows SQ as free, that means this will not cost me money. I have 1 GB memory, so I can create now. It is being created. So the next step will be create the SQL database also. Once this is created, we can go ahead and add that. Currently we can see in this notification section it shows initializing the deployment. Until this is going to finish, I am going to create my Visual Studio project. Open your Visual Studio on Mac or Windows, whatever. So create a new project. Select the template as Web Application Model View Controller. You will see that here in the app section. Okay, use C#, then continue. I am going to use the target framework as 7.0. I need authentication. I will choose individual authentication, then continue. I am going to save my project name as example deploy. Then create this. Alright, I am going to open my portal again here. Now our resource is created. Here you will see this option home. Go to home, then you will see your recent resource here, example deploying. Go to that, then click this create button. You have to search SQL database. Select this SQL database, create it. Okay, now I am going to see if there are any other option to create our SQL database. Yeah, in the top it suggests me to use these services. I can directly click this SQL databases. So then create SQL database here. As same as our previous step, we have to select our subscription plan and the resource group. I will select this example deploy. Now I hope you can understand what is this resource group means. That means we can cluster a group of services into one group, so then we can use that for one project. A resource group is a collection of resources that share the same life cycle, permission and policies. Okay, now we had to say what is our database name. I am going to use desired database name here. For example, we can say database name as, let's say, yeah, we can use example, that's fine. So the server, we had to create a new server here. Create a new, click that. I am going to enter the server name. So the server name that you are going to enter here, you have to keep that in your notepad or whatever place. So I can say example deploying. This will be the server name. Yeah, so I can install this server name in my project temporarily. Let's go to some controller code and I am going to add that as a comment. Now this server name, I can copy that and put that here. Okay, now authentication. Select the preferred authentication methods for accessing the server. I will use SQL authentication, that means using the username and the password. Here I will say the username as admin. So the login name must not contain SQL identifier or typical system name like admins are. Yeah, so I can say deploying admin, so that will be fine. So the password, we can try to use a new password that generated by the browser. I can copy that here in the code, and the password I can copy it, okay. Now we can click OK here. The server will be created. Yeah, the next step is configure the plan. Don't use this 250 GB storage for a database for testing purpose. I am going to select the service package as this basic for less demanding workload 1. So we can say database size here like, let's say 1 GB. Click apply. After doing that, the next stage is backup storage redundancy. Choose how your PITR and LTR backup are replicated. So I will select this locally redundant backup storage, then review and create. Okay, it is initializing the deployment. Until this is going to finish everything here, I am going to open my Visual Studio again and add some required packages into my project. To use the database, we have to use some package. Go to tools and then select manage NuGet packages. You will see the same option in the Windows also. After clicking that, you will see this window. Go to browse section and then search web. After searching that, you will see this result microsoft.aspnet.webapi.co. Select that and then click add package. Click OK. Select your project here. Now I am going to do the same thing in Windows. In your project, go to tools, click NuGet package manager, go to manage NuGet packages for the solution, go to browse, then search web. After scrolling, you will see the required package here, microsoft.aspnet.webapi.co. Select this, then click install. Click OK here and accept the license also. It will be added into your project. Now I am going to install that in my Mac also. Accept it. Now let's go to Azure portal again. I am going to go to the home, and this is our recent database created. I am going to select that. The next step is getting the connection string. Go to connection strings section here in the setting, copy this one, go to your Visual Studio again, open this app settings.json. Now there is a field called default connection, so I can use that. I am going to remove this one and paste the connection string here. Okay. Now you have to remind one thing, that is you have to replace your password here. I will enter the password that I am copied. This is the password. Okay, you have to copy that password and paste that here. also remove these braces, and I am going to set this trust saver certificate as true. Otherwise you will see some errors while you are going to connect to your database. Okay, now I am going to do the same thing here in the Windows. I am going to open this app settings.json, put my connection in string into there, use my password, replace the braces also, and trust server certificate as true. Okay, the next step is go to the portal again. I will go to overview, then select the set server firewall. I am going to click this selected networks, add your client IPv4 address. I am going to add that and start IPv4 address. What is that? So we have to search Google, what is my IP? This is the IP, put that here, and this one also. I will save that. Okay, so the next step is I am going to try Visual Studio to connect with the database using the Save Explorer. I am going to click this view in the Windows Visual Studio, click Save Explorer. Here we have to press this connect to database button. I am going to select Microsoft SQL Server, click continue. Now here we have to enter the server name. The server name is the server name that we copied previously. Otherwise you can find that using the portal. I am going to use SQL Server Authentication, and the password and the username is these things. I think something is not working correctly in the Visual Studio, that's fine. Okay, the next step is go to Visual Studio, go to program.cs. Here you will see it is using the database as SQLite builder.services.@db context pool. We have to comment this code. Instead we have to say builder.services.@db context pool. Now you have to say your application db context class here in the data folder, this one, and I am going to put parentheses. I am going to say options equals to greater than. I am going to say options dot use. Here the problem is the library that I added in my Mac is wrong, because actually we can use that here in the Windows. I will go to program.cs. Here I will comment this builder.service.@db context pool. I am going to say builder.services.@db context I'm going to specify application DB context class, parenthesis, inside parenthesis I'm going to say options equals to greater than, and then I'm going to say options dot use SQL Server. That's working in the Windows, but here in the Mac all we had to do, just go to tools. I'm going to manage NuGet packages. Now if you already added this Microsoft.ASP.NET.Web API core, you can install that, but it is not added into my Mac. So the thing is, in the browse section I'm going to search SQL, and we will see this Microsoft.EntityFramework core.SQL Server. I'm going to select that, then click add package. It is being added into my project. Click accept. Okay, now here I'm going to say options dot use SQL Server. Okay, now put parenthesis, inside parenthesis you have to say your connection string variable name, which is passed here by default. Okay, now put semicolon. Here in the Windows also I am going to say my connection string. Alright, the next step is do the migration. You have to select this migrations folder and delete that. In the data folder you will see that. Here in the Windows you will see that migration folder also. Select that and delete. In the Windows you are going to go to tools and then NuGet package manager console. You are going to say add hyphen migration, something like initial create or whatever migration file name. You have to press enter. Do you remember that we set our IP address here in the Azure portal in this firewall section? If you unable to do that, so you will see some error while creating the migration file here. Yeah, it is created, but if you not configure that IP address here in the firewall, you will get an error. Okay, that's fine. The next step is update the database, but before that I'm going to open my terminal here in the Mac OS. Also I can right click on my project, open in terminal. I'm going to navigate into my main project, which is example space deploying. Now to create the migration file here I can say .NET EF migrations add something like initial or what initial create. Unable to create an object for different supported design time. Okay, I forgot to save my code, that's why the error came previously. The migration file is created. Here we are going to do the update. In Mac you can say, in Mac or Linux, .NET EF database update to execute the database update, but here in the Windows, here in the package manager, you have to say database, no, it is a update hyphen database. Press enter. It is going to update our database. Yeah, something wrong here, let me check what's that. Here I accidentally added another S to here into the front of the connection listing, so I can try to update the database again. Okay, now I can run my application, check whether I can create accounts or not. If you execute this .NET EF database update, it will update through your Mac also. I am going to register a new account, say some email, password as coffee $321, coffee $321, register. Their data is being sent to the database. Yeah, it is working, so I can log in again. Yeah, that because I haven't confirmed my account previously. Confirm my account and log in again. Okay, that's working. Now the next step is publish our application. To publish our application, here in the Mac, all we had to do, just right click on our project, click publish, select publish to Azure. Now we have to sign in with the account that we created previously. I am going to sign in with Microsoft. Okay, I entered my password and that is it. So here I am in the publish to Azure App Service section. I am going to click publish now. Okay, so it is publishing to the Azure. Here let me show you how we can do this in Windows. Go to Solution Explorer, right click on your project. Here I am going to stop the running process. Click publish. We have to select the Azure here, click next. Here select the operating system that you selected previously here in the portal, that was Windows. I hope you can remind that and click next here. Here we have to sign in again. I am going to sign in now. Here in the Visual Studio on Mac, it shows the website is published. That means we can go to our home of portal, and then I am going to select this example deploying resource group, and here we have app service. I am going to go to that. Here we have the default domain. Actually that is not the default domain. Yeah, it is the default domain, example pb, that's the one I added. Okay, this is our website. Here we can see our database is also accessible. I am going to enter some email and some random password. Register. Now let's go ahead and deploy our application using the Windows VS Visual Studio also. Now I am going to select my project here, example 1, and click finish. It is going to create the profile. Publish profile creation is in progress. Now close that window and then click publish. It is publishing our web app. Here it shows us the target link. We can use that URL. Here I am opening the browser. So what I can do, you have to go to your panel, and firstly you have to select your web app. You will see this app service. For that, this is the one that I created for my project, example PLPE. To ensure that, here we can see this is the URL, example PLPE. Now after go to there, you will search here properties. Here you can see the properties. After going through, you will see this virtual IP address. You have to copy that and then go to your portal back and select the database. The database is this one. You have to go to this overview and then click set server firewall. Okay, otherwise you can go to this security and networking section. Here you see this firewall rule section. You are going to click this add your client IPv4 address. Here you are going to enter that IP address that you copied. Click save. Once you save that, it will allow you to test your application. Okay, now I am going to register a new account here. Some password. Also here click register. Okay, it works. Right. As you saw in previously, we can escape that error by adding our IP address. into here. Okay, alright, we came a long way to here. I hope this video helps. If this video helps, please subscribe. Thank you.